Welcome to Alter Ego Comics TV. I am Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And we are here to talk about this week's best comics. This, of course, is the week of the Bat Wedding. It's the week of several new number ones from both Marvel and DC. So let's get right to it. Let's talk about Batman number 50.
Okay.
What do you want to talk about? It's good.
It is good.
It is good.
It's
So
real good.
You may have had the content spoiled thanks to the New York Times and DC Comics and maybe some other comic media that got the word out ahead of yesterday's release. But it is still an excellent issue. Mm-hmm. Even knowing the way that it was going to turn out, it was still excellent. And Tom King is telling a big story here. He tweeted out yesterday that basically we're halfway through his run. He's got 100 issues, a 100 issue story, and we're halfway through. So if you've been enjoying Tom King's run on Batman from the beginning, if you like Batman, if you like Catwoman, if you want to see where their journey continues, then I would absolutely recommend that you pick this up.
Pencils by Mikkel Janin and everyone ever.
Yes.
There's lots of splash pages with voiceover by just a laundry list of awesome artists.
Yeah, I mean, we could go on and I mean, like, really every other page or every couple of pages you get a full page panel or part of the story. I don't know what to say about this other than it fits in perfectly with the story that Tom King has been telling. Is this going to be attractive to someone who hasn't picked up a Batman comic in a very long time? Maybe,
but probably not.
Yeah, or the average person on the street who has never read a Batman comic before. I would probably not start with this. Will it have some long-term ramifications? I think so. And I think where we leave the characters is in a very interesting place for both of them. So we'll have to see what happens with Batman in Batman number 51, but we get to find out what happened to Catwoman in Catwoman number 1.
Words and art by Joel Jones, with colors by Jor-El Jones, with colors by Laura Allred. This picks up right after the end of, well, not right after, but it picks up after Batman 50. So there's even a splurge on the cover that says, basically, this will spoil Batman 50. Read Batman 50 first. So after 50, if you want to know what's up with Selina, this is where I would go next. Joel Jones is freaking amazing. I loved her Supergirl miniseries last year from DC, which just came out in graphic novel, by the way. Check it out, Supergirl being super. And she's writing and drawing this time. Her art's beautiful. She also did Lady Killer over at Dark Horse.
I believe so. Yes.
There we go. Which is
Lady
about
Killer volumes 1 and 2
available now. And this is starts with Catwoman murdering some people with the gun, which is not particularly in character, and then Selina Kyle getting arrested for said murders, and then we find out what's up with that. It's awesome. We get to see a lot of new, interesting plot points set up. We definitely get to see where the fallout from 50 hit Selina a little bit. And yeah, I enjoyed quite a bit. Big fan.
Yes, I enjoyed it as well. I've been looking forward to this primarily because of Joelle Jones and what she's bringing to this book. Next, we have another new number 1. In fact, we had plenty number 1s this week. Captain America number 1 again. This time, legacy number 705, if you're keeping score. Written by Ta-Nehisi Coates, artwork by Leinil Francis Yu, and I liked it. It's action-packed. It's Cap kind of back in the mainstream. We had this period of Mark Waid writing Captain America where he was kind of trying to find himself and dealing with the fallout of Secret Empire. And now that he's done that, he's back among the rest of the Marvel Universe, and we see some supporting players make an appearance in this one. Try and stay awake, Josh. You can do it. The artwork by Leinil Francis Yu is outstanding. You know, we haven't seen him really do a regular book in a while. You know, I think he did the Return of Jean Grey, at least part of it.
Yeah.
but we don't see him really as a regular penciler, so I'm hoping he sticks around for a while. Interesting choice of villain, or villains in this one by Mr. Coates, and I have confidence in where he's taking us. Visually, storytelling-wise, I thought it was top-notch. Great cover, wraparound cover by Alex Ross for this big issue.
My favorite #1 written by Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Yes.
Of all time.
It's really good.
I liked it, yeah. Next up, what the hell is going on? I don't care. I'll do this one, I guess.
Okay.
From Donny Cates and Dylan Burnett. You remember Donny Cates from God Country and
Baby Teeth.
Baby Teeth. Oh,
Thanos.
So good. A really great run on Doctor Strange recently.
Venom.
So spinning out of his run on Thanos, we've got Cosmic Ghost Rider #1. So this is the story of a Marine named Frank Castle, whose family got murdered by the mob or by a hit, and he decided to become the Punisher. And then he died and came back as Ghost Rider. And then he served as Galactus' Herald and got the power cosmic like the Silver Surfer. And then he, in the Thanos book, became the right hand of Thanos. And he is the Cosmic Ghost Rider. And as of the end of the Thanos series, he was dead. Again. For reals. Obviously, he's on the cover of this book and it's in the present, so he's not going to stay dead. It's just so over the top, ridiculous. It's kind of like Dark Knight's Metal. Like it's just so extreme. It's brilliant. Combining the Punisher, Ghost Rider, Silver Surfer is crazy. And Coates has a great feel for just how ridiculous it is, but he still leaves it kind of grounded and relatable. We see the Cosmic Ghost Rider try to kill baby Thanos as a baby. We see Odin the Allfather. Apparently he made it to Valhalla. It's just ridiculous and over the top. It's the only place you're going to see the Ghost Rider right now in a Marvel comic.
No, he's in Avengers.
Yeah, but he's not on the...
Robbie Reyes.
Oh, I guess that's a Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
But
it's the only place you're going to see Frank Castle, a.k.a. the Punisher, as Cosmic Ghost Rider. And the last page of this is worth the price of admission. It is, yes, unlike anything on the stands. This feels, and I said this before. I think I've said it several times. When writers that get known for their indie work start doing mainstream work for Marvel or DC, I have a tendency to say it feels like an indie comic. And this kind of feels like an indie comic. It's steeped in Marvel lore, but the way it's drawn, the pacing, the way it's written, it has a feel of an indie comic. So if you want to read a Marvel comic that feels like an indie comic, Cosmic Ghost Rider is the one to pick up. Mr. Cates also is writing Death of the Inhumans. Issue #1 is out this week. I have no idea how many issues this is running. At least one more. I, again, have said this before. I think you have said this before. I could give two craps about the Inhumans.
Everyone could. No one cares about
maybe no craps.
I got a TV show.
I give no craps about the Inhumans.
Zero craps.
Except Lockjaw. I picked this up. Did you read this?
I did.
Okay.
I liked it.
Because Donny Cates was writing it, and because it's kind of my job to read all the #1s and kind of direct people towards the good ones. And Death of the Inhumans is one of the good ones. It is.
Inhumans do die in here.
Yes.
Ones whose names I knew before I opened the book, which is rare in a death story.
More than one.
Yeah?
Yeah. I dug it.
Yeah, me too.
It's a story I could get into. It's not too inside baseball when it comes to the Inhumans. I mean, they tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah, so they tell you everything you need to know. It's still...
Well...
It's definitely steeped in what
if you have a working knowledge. Would I recommend this to someone who has no familiarity with the Inhumans? No. Why would you pick it up? It's called Death of the Inhumans.
Yeah, but they could still follow it. I mean, the information's there, it just won't play as well.
Right. But no, Cates continues to show why he is one of the hardest working writers at Marvel right now. Telling a great story about the Inhumans and apparently their death. And I think this is Marvel just saying, all right, we're going to kill them. We're going to kill all of them. That whole Inhumans thing, trying to make them like the X-Men.
Didn't work out.
Yeah, it was a mistake. We're going to wipe the slate clean.
Also in the team of indie people coming over to write mainstream books, we've got Astonishing X-Men 13 by Matthew Rosenberg with art by Greg Land. This is, of course, the first issue of a brand new era. We've got a new kind of formulated team there on the cover. So our viewpoint character for most of this issue is Havoc. Havoc's had a rough life. His parents orphaned him with his older brother Scott, and he was an X-Man who was hated and feared, and then he was evil for a while. He worked for the government. Madrox died in his arms. You know, tough times. So this is kind of back to classic Havoc, trying to get back to who he used to be, trying to find out his place in the world. And it does a great job of, and I don't know how this works. I don't know if they just looked at the people who are used in other X books and like, these are the ones you have left. But it's a nice smattering of, you know, we've got some new X-Men, we've got what's her name from the New Mutants. And yeah, it was really good. I was surprised how much I liked it, given that I wasn't super impressed with the previous arc of Astonishing.
And neither was I.
I mean, I liked the beginning of the previous arc of Astonishing. It just
I like Matthew Rosenberg. He's writing your series, Multiple Man. Yeah. Which Josh and 2 other people have picked up here in the shop.
Nobody wants.
He's writing New Mutants, which has been received very well, and he's staying in the world of X-Men with Astonishing.
4 kids walk into a bank.
Yeah.
Go find it. It's a great graphic novel.
It is. It's excellent. Yeah. I'm looking forward to where this goes next. I haven't read Astonishing X-Men, I think, since #1, and that was written by Charles Soule. This, I'm totally digging. I like Havoc. Havoc has always been one of my favorite X-Men, primarily because when I was a teenager reading X-Men, Havoc was kind of the pseudo-leader. It was like Havoc and Wolverine were vying for leadership of the team at that time. But yeah, I highly recommend it. If you haven't picked up Astonishing X-Men, you can get into this very easily. Or if you read it and left, it's time to come back. New creative team, new X-Men team. Good stuff. Yep. Also out this week, we'll keep talking about the X-Men. So if you picked up X-Men Gold #30, or even if you didn't, you may know that there was a wedding. It was supposed to be Colossus and Kitty Pryde, and it turned out to be Rogue and Gambit. So Rogue and Gambit are married now. Leading up to that, we had a mini-series called Ring of Fire.
We didn't know it was leading up to that at the time.
No, we didn't. And they may not have known either. I don't know. This is written by Kelly Thompson with artwork by Per Perez. And it's really, really good. If you like relationship comics, if you like these characters, if you like the dialogue that Kelly Thompson has written in Hawkeye or the new Nancy Drew, which is being published by Dynamite Comics, you definitely want to pick this up. As IGN says in the pull quote, now this is something special. It is something special, and it sets the stage for the wedding, and then there is a new series, Mr. and Mrs. X, which starts in about 3 weeks, which follows the adventures of the now married Rogue and Gambit. So the trade paperback is out. Run and get it.
Finally, we've got from the indie scene, Image Comics Unnatural #1. Written, drawn, and colored by, I don't know how to pronounce backwards letters. I think it's Mirka Andolfo. And this is sort of it's a book about people that are animal people. Like all of the human characters have animal features, and it's a very interesting sort of, I don't want to say it's dystopian, but it's one of those sci-fi or future worlds where the government's telling you when and how to reproduce, and there's a lot in there about gender identity. It's also definitely adult content. It starts with a sexy dream about a pig lady and a werewolf man. But it's like a lot of the books like this that we have, Sunstone,
a lot
Sex
of the books
Criminals.
like this that we have.
Well, I'm saying we don't stock. We don't tend to stock overly adult comics. If we do, it's for a reason.
Not blatantly. I mean,
right. We don't stock books that are adult for the sake of being adult. We stock books that are good books that happen to have adult content. So that's the distinction here. The covers, especially, are a little risque. Did you see the variant?
No.
I wasn't sure I wanted to put it on the shelf, but
did you put it on the shelf?
I did. It's behind the other ones. It's fine. So if you're coming in looking for the sexy variants, it's behind the other ones. It's got a lot of heart. There's a lot in here about choice and sexual identity and growing up and figuring out who you are. And there's also werewolf sex and bathtubs and stuff. But it's really sweet, really funny, really a lot of heart for a book with this much skin on the cover. So Unnatural may not be for everyone, but for a certain type of person, it's really going to enjoy it. And in that same sort of sexy era, we've got Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, back again from Dynamite. This is #1, written by David Avallone, or possibly Avallone, and art by David Costa. And I'm telling you about this partially because some people like Elvira and they're just going to want to know, but also because it's not actually bad. It's a lot of tongue-in-cheek puns and double and triple entendres, but I mean that's sort of what's good about Elvira anyway, being funny and sexy and whatever. So ridiculous, over the top. Spoilers: Edgar Allan Poe's in here.
Yeah. I have to go back because you were flipping through this and I saw some things.
It was like Vlad the Impaler, or which guy did you think?
Well, no, it was an ad actually for the
Toxic
it's the Art
Avenger.
of Trauma.
Oh.
I thought that Dynamite was doing a Toxic Avenger series.
Yeah,
I was like, man, what are they picking up? Like all the '80s cult properties. Yeah. This Elvira proved to be very popular in the shop this week. We've sold more than I would have expected, and we've only had one day of new comic books to choose from, or to pick books up in. So there you go. There you have it. All kinds of awesome stuff available at your local comic shop. Let us know what you liked in the comments below, or come over to our private Facebook group, Comics Are Awesome, where we can continue the conversation. If you did like this week's episode, hit the like button and subscribe so you can be kept in the loop when we add new stuff. So until next time, we'll see ya.